You know, I have this memory from when I was a kid. There was this forest out behind my house. I would spend hours and hours there. It was the most beautiful place in the world. That's how I feel here. Oh my gosh, right now we are driving through these tiny little roads going higher and higher up into the mountains, and there is such beautiful lush farmyards out here and orchards, so many trees and bordered in mountains. This is so beautiful. Where are we going now? What is the village called?
Where?
Hopar?
Yeah, Hopar village.
These views are so beautiful. We're going higher and higher. There's no guardrails anywhere.
I was searching for an open door. I was looking for a peace of mind. It's a feeling that I tend to get. Won't rest until I make it right. Couldn't stand the thought of losing her before time had come. Like a storm I raged that night. In the dark I came undone.
On this day in northern Pakistan, we were on our way to a tourist area nearby. And now I should introduce Akhil. Akhil was our driver in northern Pakistan, and Munim and I quickly started calling him the race car driver because he loves driving fast. Akhil also loves music and hopes to be a singer one day. As we were en route, Akhil asked if we would want to visit his hometown instead, a tiny village high in the mountains. Of course we did.
We were standing in the freezing rain. Honey, how could I forget? In the distance were the warning bells, but I knew that you weren't caving yet.
Oh my gosh, guys, I have come to a fairy tale right now. I feel like I am in a movie set, like The Shire or something. This is where people actually live. It's like an enchanted fairy tale glen. So I am in a village right now called Hopar village. We had to drive very far up into the mountains to get here, and the views of this place, oh my gosh, they are, to call them beautiful is inadequate. They're just so amazing and stunning. This whole place is just full of these beautifully made rock walls and flowering trees and grass and moss, and bordered by these massive snowy mountains. This is actually very close to a glacier. It's the only place in the world where the people live above the glacier, and then there's a glacier down below. Walking around here with Munim and
Akhil Hussain.
he is from this area, so he's showing me around. Were you born here or close by?
Yes.
You were born here?
Yeah.
Oh.
But now we are living in Gilgit.
So this is one of the small pens where they keep their animals. It's built of stone. It is actually so lovely. And there are, I think, the cutest calves that I've ever seen in my life here. Hi.
Do you want to say cow?
Is there a cow in here?
Yeah.
Mother cow.
What? Okay, there's more cows in here. Oh. Hi.
Shadow lanes and rows of elves, souvenirs upon the shelf. Name the days and seasons as they fell. Quiet on the waterline reminds me of a simpler time. Beauty in the letting go, skipping stones and marigolds, talking for a memory. Remind me of what used to be. Beauty in the letting go, skipping stones and marigolds.
Blossoming trees, they're apricot trees actually, are just everywhere. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Look at that. I have just heard the most interesting fact about here. So the people's areas don't have any boundaries or fences. It's just open to anyone. So actually, in all of history, this area has never had a thief come here. So they don't need any such thing as locks or fences breaking off their lands, and that is just, I mean, what kind of world am I in right now? Look at this enchanting scenery behind me. They're drying their clothes up here with this amazing view of the village. This is where they are storing wood for the winter. We just saw some women that were collecting the wood. It's a grove of magic. I'm so happy. This place is, I don't know, it reminds me of maybe what you'd expect to see in super scenic Japan when all of the cherry blossoms, the sakura blossoms are happening, or Switzerland, or Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh, like, where even am I right now? This is like a place that you think doesn't exist. Hi, I am here with, what is your name?
Sakhawat. My name is Sakhawat. Ma'am, how is your trip? How is Gilgit-Baltistan people? It's going.
I love it. It's so beautiful here. Beautiful scenery, and everyone is so welcoming and nice and friendly here. That's like one of my favorite things, and I love having chai with everybody. It's great.
Chai special this year.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Nagar, Gilgit, Nagar, Pakistan.
Oh, okay. There are some very rare animals that are in this area of Hunza Valley, and that would be, two of them would be the snow leopard and the margor, which we call the ibex. It's a really big goat with these spiraling horns, and they actually kill snakes. They're very fierce, and these animals are being protected because they are rare. There's not so many of them left in the world, and they exist in this area. So if there's ever a time when the margor comes and is eating the fruit off of the trees in this village, or say a snow leopard comes and attacks one of their animals, then they are not allowed to stop the leopard or the margor. They just let it eat, or let it I guess take their animals, and then they report that to the government, and the government will refund them the money for the loss of the animal. But that's just to keep the rare leopards and margors safe. Oh my gosh, having chai right now. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Chai everywhere. I am at a local house right now. They have invited me inside, and this is their kitchen. Actually, they originally had an older house, but it was damaged in a flood, so they have now recently moved here. Are you guys okay to be on the camera? Yeah. Okay. You want to say hi? Want to say hi?
हम ऐसे
Hi.
आप भी जाओ
Hi.
hello is there
Hi. Good to meet you. Hi. Hi. You all live in such a beautiful place.
बहुत अच्छी जगह पे रह रहे हैं
शिरीन हयातार मते खुश करे संजान मासो सार दीपो योरो सार रोश करे संजान शिरीन हयातार मते खुश करे संजान मासो सार दीपो योरो सार रोश करे संजान हर दियो बते हाय हाय हर दियो बते तलब गाता है गछान हर दी हम मुस्कान अशिक बेचाता है गछान
Mountains behind us. Oh, wow. I think this must be one of the most beautiful, peaceful, charming fairy tale places I have ever seen. Okay, been exploring the village. Now guess what time it is? Can you guess? Of course. Tea time. More chai. Okay, I've left the village now and we are driving again through the most beautiful scenery, and Akil wants to sing me a local song.
so first of all welcome to Nagaur
Thank
and
you.
I will sing a song special for you. After my song the boss translated you what I want to sing for you.
Okay.
गमों का दौर भी आए तो मुस्कुरा के जियो नमो छुपा के जियो हाय न सर झुका के जियो गट्ठा में छुप के सितारे बना नहीं होते हर के पल की खुशी को गले लगा के जियो नमो छुपा के जियो हाय न सर झुका के जियो. In my song advice and prayer also mentioned for you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
So good.
Enough. Thank you.
You have such a good voice.
Thank you.
After Akil sang his song, Munim translated the lyrics for me. Some of them went like this. Even in times of sorrow, don't forget to live. You don't know which moment is the last moment of your life. Don't forget to live. Okay, from the village, I've now come to Altit Fort, and it has a lovely walkway into the fort here that's all green with so many trees. And so there's actually two forts, and the lower one is called Altit, the higher one is called Baltit, and both forts were inhabited by royalty. This fort is so cool inside. So this was built 1100 years ago. It is the oldest monument of the Gilgit area, and right now I'm standing in what used to be a guard tower. So the Silk Road and the river is right in front of me out of these windows here, and this fort was used to guard against anyone that was going along the Silk Road because so many people were passing back and forth at this time, so there needed to be a fort here. And this is also where the kings lived. There's a fort above it that is 800 years old. This is so cool in here, and wandering through all of these little passageways and doors. right now. This is where 600 years ago one of the kings buried his own brother alive inside because the brother had started a rebellion and was challenging his power as king. Who is that? Not very ancient. He did this because the brother had started a rebellion and was challenging his power as the king. The human skeleton is still inside right now, and it was only discovered recently when they were scanning it. So all of the doors in this fort are quite short. This is the door right here, and I'm not tall. And so my guide was just telling me that the people in ancient times were actually quite tall in this fort. So they didn't make it because they were short. They made it because, first of all, you had to, you know, bow your head to go in, which is a sign of respect, but also if invaders were to come into the fort, then their heads could easily be chopped off. Up this stairwell to this view of the village below and all of the fields and the mountains. Oh my gosh, look at this. Behind me right here is Hansa's first ever mosque. It was built about 500 years ago because with the arrival of the Silk Road and so many traders coming through, Islam was introduced to the area. So inside here is the very first mosque. Ancient fort, there was an intense selection process for who would be courageous and brave enough to enter this fort's army and join their forces. So if you see these two rocks right here, the test would be that someone would have to jump from that rock to this steep rock. Look where it goes. They would have to jump onto that rock and then jump all the way back, and if they were brave enough to do it and survived, of course, then they would be entered into the army. That is crazy. This rock is so steep. I hope I can show you on the video. Thank you so much to my guide. What a cool place. I'm so glad that I came here. You know, when you travel, sometimes you think, oh, I've seen so many forts, I've seen so many, whatever, temples, cathedrals, so you think maybe I should skip it, but places like this, I'm just really glad that I didn't. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I loved it. You know so many interesting stories about this place.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, we are driving, oh my gosh, so fast, up to this place called Eagle's Nest right now. And again, we are driving through those beautiful villages with all these flower trees, and there's mountains and stone, and it's a good thing that he is a good driver because in a lot of these places there's no guardrail, and we're so high up right now. Where are we going?
We were still